Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Good morning and welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray here on ESPN 790 in Memphis, Tennessee, or how about 1520 in Brownsville, or you can listen to us on 101.5 there in Jackson, Tennessee. And here is your host, Larry Ray.
All right, Ron. I thought you'd go right on into Theron, but you know, listen to that. And that's really putting Bill on the spot for the next one, you know. John Gordon has become an expert on this.
I've heard.
He is really. He's going to win an Emmy. It's just not the kind of Emmy that we give away, you know.
I want to see.
Or an ESPY.
I want to see a Family Feud deal between him and
who else? You're cutting into Theron's time, but that's all right.
I know.
Who would you like else to do that? All right.
Well,
he can't even think right now.
No, I can't think.
He'll come back to it.
It's early Saturday morning.
Hey, we're really glad to continue our fishing conversation here. We finally got somebody that doesn't have 12 syllables in his name, like Dan Dannemuller, you know, and really enjoyed talking to Dan about crappie fishing. Well, Ron was at, of course, he was at the Forest Wood Cup over on Lake Ouachita recently, and we had Clint Davis on the show recently. Talking about his victory over there, and I've written a story for the Mid-South Hunting and Fishing News magazine coming out this month about Clint Davis and his remarkable show and showing there. And one of his things that he kept mentioning in our interview, Ron, what was that he talked about?
He talked about Yo-Zuri, and he talked about not only the baits but the fishing lines that they have. And, you know, how blessed he was to have them as part of his fishing family, as he called it.
Well, until he mentioned that, I thought that was a rapper, Yo-Zuri, you know, so I didn't know. But
I'll tell you what.
It's an amazing company.
You know, Larry, you're a trout fisherman.
Yes, I am, yeah.
Yo-Zuri has some of the finest jerk baits on the market for trout fishing.
Really?
I got to tell you. Oh, yes.
Oh, we got to
The
try that.
right sizes and everything.
Well, you better introduce this guest before he goes to sleep then.
Well, I got to tell you, we're very fortunate to have the marketing manager for Yo-Zuri USA, Theron Asbery. Good morning, Theron. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys this morning?
We're doing really wonderful.
Well,
it's always a beautiful day.
I'm pretty hyper, but they're laid back and everything, you know, because
it's a beautiful day in paradise here in Florida too.
This is the guy. Listen, this is the guy I told him. You know, came from Grove, Oklahoma. Okay,
yeah, on the banks of
went to one of my favorite schools,
Grand Lake.
Henderson State. I guess it's a university now. I don't know
where
what
that's
it is.
at.
It's Henderson State University.
It's in Arkadelphia, Arkansas, right across the road from another school that we won't mention. Then he went back to Oklahoma for a while, and now he's in paradise, as he says, and probably have his own TV show before long and everything.
He goes,
what part of Florida are you in?
I'm just south of Daytona Beach and north of West Palm.
That's pretty tough, you know. That's pretty tough. So
goes from the shores of Grand Lake to the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, tell us about this company. I'm really fascinated. I looked it up and everything. Of course, it's been around 50 years and originated in Japan, and so you're Yo-Zuri America. So the big operation here. So tell us what it's meant for you and the company for Clint to win this thing a couple of weeks ago.
Man, it's been the dream come true. I've actually had to pinch myself, and I've even cried at times, being so humble to have this opportunity to finally land what I've always dreamed of. And everyone's got dreams. People talk about how impossible it is. There's going to be a multitude of people that whatever you tell them your dreams are, they're going to try to talk you down, talk you out of it. But I stayed the course, and I kept my dreams alive. And to not only come aboard and work for a fishing company, which is what I aspired to do from the age of 16 when I started tournament fishing. Went to college for, kept my nose clean.
On the team, a fishing team, weren't you? Were you on the team?
I was on the college fishing team. Was one of the part of the when I was there. Henderson State was one of the first Division II schools to qualify for all three national championships that are offered in college fishing. That's the FLW, the Bass, and the Boat US Collegiate.
Mm-hmm.
We had a remarkable time down there. I had fun and came out with a degree in marketing with the aspiration to continue my fishing career that I already started with fishing the FLW Tour as a co-angler. And was met with a reality check. I didn't have experience in business. I knew everything there was to know about fishing, and I had to go back to Oklahoma and work in a casino in the gambling industry. I'm not going to lie, it was 2 years, but I really just tell myself I used it to get to where I am now. It was not a very enjoyable time, but it was just one of those moments in time that you have to get through to achieve a goal, and that's exactly what happened. And I had the opportunity to finally put some experience on my resume, and Chris Bishop, one of our national sales coordinators, he finally called me after nearly 2 years working in the gambling industry, and we talked. He flew me down here for the interview, and then I went up to Lake St. Clair for the last FLW Tour event of the year, and the last day of the tournament, he called me while I was standing in line to get a bag for weigh-in, and it was great. He offered me the job, congratulated me, told me they were excited to have me on board. I weighed in the largest bag I've ever weighed in a tournament in 10 years of competitive bass fishing.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to lie, I pretty much lost it on stage. It was a very humbling
That's
and
a humbling
experience.
Yeah,
right.
this was you've been with the company since just July, right? I mean, you're
we went to ICAST. ICAST was my first actually opportunity to represent the company and introduce myself to everybody involved with Yozuri, including our Japanese friends that had come over for the trip to experience ICAST, and so it was great to meet everyone there. I kind of felt like I was thrown to the wolves a little bit, but it was an all-around great experience. Got to meet a lot of people, got to be a part of a lot of great things that I always aspired to do.
Yeah.
And then I went home for a little bit and said my goodbyes to all my friends and family, and I moved myself to Florida, and I've been down here since August 1st.
Well,
awesome.
talk about, and Ronald asked you to talk about, with Clint winning that, that had to be a boost to the company, right?
It has absolutely boosted the company, not only our brand, but our products, our other pro staff, who Clint Davis is, his brand. It is just an all-around 360 change in the last week and a half since the event took place.
Well, Ron, Ron was showing me some of the products, and look at that, Ron. That's a pretty cool product.
Those jerk baits are really nice stuff. But Clint used the Top Knot mainline fluorocarbon line, and he also used a super braid on his pencil topwater bait, the Yozuri pencil topwater. But talk about that Top Knot mainline you guys got. It's a little bit different than a lot of the fluorocarbons that are on the market today. Tell our listeners, if you would, Theron, about that line.
Top Knot mainline fluorocarbon, that's the line that Yozuri introduced last year. We have 7 different choices for all anglers, from 6-pound test down to or up to 20. It's just another way that Yozuri is combining the precision of discipline with the Japanese heritage, with craftsmanship and entrepreneurial spirit, and bringing it into the American market. And it's a product designed by anglers, made by anglers, for anglers. You got the whole circumference, devoted toward anglers and giving them the best product possible, and giving them the bang for their buck. It's economically reasonable at the market store for the everyday angler that has to support a family. I've tested it out, and I really appreciate the product. I'm proud to stand behind it. I'm proud to recommend anglers to give it a try. There's such a multitude of different companies that have fluorocarbons on the market right now, and it's critical because fishing line is absolutely the most critical component.
Oh, that's what Clint talked about.
Yeah,
that's what he talked about. Yeah.
I mean,
without
that's the only thing between you and
without a quality line, how can you have the confidence that you're going to put fish in the boat to win 300K or enjoy that time out there with your son or tournament? From tournament fishing to recreational fishing, you have to have the confidence of a great fishing line, and that's what Top Knot is all about. It's got a smaller diameter than most of the competition out there, and it's super durable, abrasion resistant. And the thing I like the most about it that I've noticed is it's really, really good at working against the UV sunlight that you're going to experience on the boat. Sunlight and UV and fluorocarbon line, they don't mix really well. Top Knot main line that's offered by Yozuri, it really gives a good bang for your buck product to anglers that's going to last you and not make you have to go back to the bait shop so often.
And
With the price of fluoro, that's important.
It is important.
No, that's exactly right,
I mean,
Bill. Fluorocarbon is not cheap.
No.
And, one of the things that I saw, I kind of played with it at the Forest Wood Cup, and it did well. But also, Clint used a pencil topwater, a Yozuri pencil topwater, but he used the braided line, too, that you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
And
coming from an angler, if you're not using braided line for all of your topwater applications, you're really missing the boat. And I mean that. The braided line has really found itself, in particular with finesse fishing, but over the course of the last, 3 to 4 years, I've really seen it just take hold. And most of your guys are getting away from the monofilament as a main line, and they're using a braid. The braid, it has zero stretch. You get great hook penetration when you set the hook on that fish, whatever the topwater is that you're using, particularly the 3DR pencil that Yozuri has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it helps the lure stay buoyant in the water, because braid does not sink. It stays extremely up on the water column, and I think it helps that lure stay buoyant.
Hey, Clint, excuse me, Theron, before we have to let you go, if somebody wants more information about any of these Yozuri products or Hardcore, where do they go?
They can go to Yozuri.com. We have all of our products there to look at. If you're interested in purchasing them, we're in all the major brick and mortars across the country,
right.
Bass Pro Shops, Academy, Walmart, and then also check us out on TackleDirect.com. All of our products are offered there, both saltwater and freshwater.
And, folks, that's Yozuri. You was wondering what he said. Yozuri. I love the name. It's hard to forget. Thank you, Theron, for being with us this morning, buddy, and congratulations on your job you got down there, and we will stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
Hey, you call me back. Let's do another show here in the before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, we'll do it, buddy. All right. Thank you, buddy.
It, guys.
All right, let's take a break. We're going to switch to Idaho. We're going to Idaho.
All right.
Talk to one of my
They're
favorites.
they're making duck changes there, too.
Oh, well, I don't really. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll ask C.J. Buck about that. Be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.